started playing something like this when I was 8 years old in northern Italy. Today, from time to time, I still play them. If I take something like this, I have to be careful not to swallow this, okay? Which happens occasionally. I came to Columbus when I was a teenager. I was 17 years old. Came from Italy. My parents tried to come over here to the United States in 1938. They were running away from Poland. They found refuge in Italy, and they tried to come to the United States. They were not able to get a visa in those days. Second World War started. We ended up in concentration camp. I spent about 3.5 years in a concentration camp in Italy. And back in 1948, my dad started making applications again to try to come to the United States. And in 1955, we finally received permission to come here.
Originally, I came from Bhutan, and I live in Nepal 20 years as a Bhutanese refugee. And then in 2009, August, I came here in the United States. A refugee life is very miserable life over there. I spent around 20 years, and it is miserable because a lot of things we got limitation there. And originally we are from Bhutan, and due to the political reasons, so we are fled away from our own country, birth country, around 1990s.
During my stay in Sweden, I invented a number of original instruments for medical applications. So when I came to United States, I decided to commercialize my inventions and market them, and this was possible. And I started a one-person company, Columbus Instruments, which still is in existence, and I still run it as a president.
The Arnold Schwarzenegger cake, because when he comes down here and has his fitness fair, and he has a cake like this, he claims I make the best black forest cake in the United States. So
I have a history in the family of bakers, you know. My grandfather was a baker, my father was a baker, my uncle was a baker, my cousin was a baker. There was a lot of bakers. So Peter was a baker, okay? Then as we were in Canada and wanted to go ultimately to New York, it didn't work out right, so we ended up in Columbus. And then he found a job right away here at the bakery that had been open only a couple of years, I think. And a few years later, they wanted out of the business, so we went in. You know, we bought it. Come, step in and bring us happiness. Grüß Gott tritt ein, bring Glück herein. Grüß Gott means the Lord's greetings. And we still greet each other when we see on the street in Bavaria, Grüß Gott. We still say the Lord's greetings. Well, Columbus was nothing like now, really, you know, and at first I was disappointed. I was not really happy because, well, first of all, we wanted to go to New York. I lived in Melbourne, I lived in Montreal, you know. So, and then New York was on the back burner, and Columbus was nothing like that, okay? But, well, it grew. In the last 45 years, 50 years we're here, my God, it grew fantastically. So out of the disappointment, everything went all right.
Enjoy Columbus is a big city, over 1 million people, but it still keep some of the, without offending anybody, the rural aspects of that. We're so spread that you can have a big backyard, big forest when you're driving through Riverside, very green, open spaces, but still you have everything that a big city can offer you.
learning to drive was a major challenge for me at my age. It took me forever. I passed my test the third time. And I don't drive on expressways, freeways, is how you say it.
It was hard because even though like I study English in Mexico, I never practiced. So when I came here, it was the language barrier. It was also the fact that a lot of people were kind of like cautious, if you want to call it that. Like they would see you and they would be like, "Yeah, we don't know." Which to these days I still see it sometimes, and I think that that's the hardest part, one of the hardest part and the challenges for us.
Loneliness has been one of the biggest struggles that we have had when we migrate back to the U.S. And it's a matter of difference in culture and different expectations from the social point of view for different groups. So it's not easy to make friends locally.
For the most part, life is so much easier here. Day-to-day life is so much simpler. In many ways, easier to live. You're not sort of constantly battling people and crowds and struggling with, power failures or, many things.
This is my home. It's now sometimes wife not very happy because I no feel time here. I no feel time. I no run home. But if I need, if something happen with my family, I stayed. I know for sure these people anytime ready help me.
A lot of times we talk about like the American dream. At least for me, I know that the real dream, and it's not even American. For me, the dream is like to have my family, to be all together, to know that my dad is there, my mom, that they're healthy.
For the longest time, we always wanted to go back eventually to New York and all of that, and I'm sure we would have done good in New York too. But now I think it was good that I stayed in Columbus. I think we contribute something to Columbus. Yeah, something valuable.